Hello, how are you? Dis, first one in the door. It's nice to see you. How's everybody doing? Happy Saturday. Y'all, give me 1 second. I was working on. Okay, hold on. Let's see if this is going to work. There we go. I think. Hold on. Let me just. One more time. Play it again. All right. Y'all, on the bottom of my screen there, scrolling, that is the Cash App for Grandma Sherry. If you would like to help her, she has an upcoming move and she's got some other things going on. And Grandma Sherry, I'm sure most of you know who she is. She works really hard for a lot of creators. She's kind of like Dis. I always tell him he's next top mod and Emmy and Crazy Nurse. Grandma Sherry mods for lots of channels, and she's just a really super sweet, kind lady. And I am not monetized, but if I did get her consent to just scroll her Cash App. If you want to help, there is the link, and everything I am quite certain would be most appreciated. Appreciated. Okay. All right. Why? Let me go back to the head of the class. Hi, Helen. Oh, you're going to a tea party? Will you have a good time? Ooh, that sounds like fun. Y'all, I am going out of town my flight leaves on Monday. It's early afternoon. I thought it was in the morning. So I had planned on going to my girlfriend who I'm going to Newport with. Should have probably done this shit before I sat down in the chair. Okay. My girlfriend that I'm going out of town with, son of a bitch, this hair. Okay. I thought that I was going to need to go to her house tomorrow. I planned on spending the night Sunday, and then she's going to drive to the airport, and I would just leave actually, I thought my husband was going to take me, and we were going to leave my car here, but we've had a slight change of plans. So the good news for all of you is that means I've got one more day that I could do a live before heading out of town for Monday to Thursday. I come back Thursday, early evening, end of the day. I'm going to Newport, Rhode Island to tour the Gilded Age mansions. Great Gatsby. It's going to, I'm so looking forward to it. If anybody's ever been to the Biltmore, which is, who owns that one? I can't believe the name just completely. Oh, the Vanderbilts. That Biltmore is the Vanderbilts. They call it America's Castle because, Europe has a lot of these homes that, incidentally, in Newport, Rhode Island, they've referred to them as cottages. Yes, despite the fact that they're, I don't know how many square feet most of them are, but gigantic. And if you like that kind of thing and you have never been to the Biltmore Estate I think it's in Asheville, it's in North Carolina, y'all, it is absolutely spectacular. So if you're into that type of thing and you have not, you haven't gone, but you're considering it, by all means do. Okay, let me say hi to the kids in class, and then we'll get this party started. Hello, Glow with Glow. Hey, Emmy, how are you? I was listening to, oh God, Blowhard, Bitch Hole, Blowhole. Bets just went live. Well, we don't have the same peeps, so that's no problem. Yeah, no, Betty's got all the ones that, I was thinking, between Betty and Prayer Garden, do you think that Well, in Prayer Garden's case, incidentally, Betty, I know you're an ill-mannered, rude bitch, but girl, I sent you an Emily Post book. No, just kidding. I wouldn't waste Monopoly money on you. But I think, Betty, you should take my advice here. And Prayer Garden of America has really done you a solid. And by that I mean, you know, she's always been an illiterate viper, but oh my, she's a little extra these past few days from the sounds of things. And Betty, I actually just jotted down in my little notes that you should send Prayer Garden of America a thank you note, because she is probably, oh well, I'll go ahead, Betty, I'm going to do this for you. She is probably first only after, well, no, she's first, then you, at least on my list of, oh, just the most disgusting, vile creators. And I'm pretty convinced that Prayer Garden and all those other appearance challenged, oh, let's just say it, they're ugly as hell. Oh God, you want to see, like, if the people of Walmart memes had a YouTube channel, and hell, maybe they do, but that would be Prayer Garden's chat every night. And yes, now if you don't think this is puzzling, but I think I have the answer. I have always, the question of how does someone who, I don't need to see Prayer Garden to conjure up what she looks like. And here's what I think. I think that she's either this big, 85 pounds, or she's about 400 pounds, nothing in between. She's more than likely, she's, weathered and saggy and gross. I guarantee you that above each boob, she's got some kind of like nasty prison looking tattoos. She's probably got furniture or even a refrigerator on her front patio. Probably an old gross couch inside her abode. I picture, that disgusting couch that back in like the 1980s, these were popular. God, I don't know why. They're polyester, but it looks like, it looks like some kind of flocked velvet. They're like a scene of usually trees or a wooded scene, and it's always in gross, nasty ass, like burnt orange, brown, and throw a little ivory in there just to break it up. And then it's got these gross, like really dark colored wood arms, just disgusting. I guarantee you she's got one in her house. More than likely just a sink full of filthy ass dishes, where she probably uses everything she walks by as an ashtray. Guarantee you she drinks either by the case, Mountain Dew or Monster or one of those kinds of things. She more than likely has some poor animal chained up in her backyard. She might have an above ground swimming pool that is full of green, gross, scummy water, for her little ones to swim in. Bitch, this is a woman that, if she has 3 teeth in her whole head, I'll fall off my chair. But we'll never know, because that illiterate, demonic bitch, she doesn't show her face. And speaking of thank you notes, PG, thank you for that. So yeah, that's how I picture PG. And she probably has a minivan of some sort that's probably 30 years old, like, OG Chevy Astro van, or no, not a Chevy, a Chrysler, like when minivans first came out. But it occurred to me, because for the life of me, I cannot figure out how does that, and when I say illiterate, That's not like me being snarky. That bitch, she cannot speak. There's so many words that she can't say. Alcohol, like alcohol, which is supposed to mean alcohol. Let's see, what are some other words that she routinely butchers? And like all stupid people, when she thinks she can use one of the big words, which is not a big word, to make her sound smart, she'll say, this is what she says, like, to people in the chat. Oh, here's another PG-ism. Hold on. Glow with Glow says, oh Lord, oh, God bless you, honey, God bless you, God bless you. Absolutely. This is every single show. This is, count on it. This is what she does. She highlights every chat. Headstones and Headlines says, hey all, double watching. Blowhard just went live. God bless you, honey. This is Summer's channel. This is Summer Will's channel. We are here for Summer Moon, Utah Wells. Fuck you, Donald. If anyone would like to come upon the panel, I'm going to put the link in the chat. Oh, Helen Highwater says, just dropped in to say hello. Can't stay. It's tea party time. Okay, yep. God bless you too, hon. God bless. God bless. She's so disgusting. But PG, instead of saying, I'm going to put the link in the chat, and anybody who'd like to come up on the panel and talk. No, it's always this. Upon. Would you like to come? I will put the link in the chat if you would like to come upon the panel. Listen, she is illiterate. She needs, and did I mention she most assuredly has an EBT card? She buys cigarettes by the case, I would imagine, with, summer, she's buying them for Summer Moon, Utah Wells. Yeah, she's an absolute disgusting, vile, demonic pig. And she, on the nightly, and I like, this is another instance where the fate of humanity, if the fact that woman can have every night, I mean, this question just vexes me. Because when I tell you that on the nightly, without fail, she has, at least at a bare minimum, she's got 500 people in that chat. And what's more likely is up to 1,000. And I think I finally might have come to the answer as to why that is. I think they all share one collective brain. Because if you took their IQ points, and I was going to say average them, I mean, no, that's still not getting us even to the intellect of a Betty. So I think they just all share one illiterate, mouth-breathing brain. I saw the best quote, and it is so true. And I believe George Carlin said it. Let me just read it to you. And don't worry, you're going to see it again. I found a bunch of quotes the other day when I was looking for something. But I loved this. Frank Zappa. Actually, how about this from Frank Zappa? Quote, there is more stupidity than hydrogen in the universe, and it has a longer life. So I think I've decided that because these people are so dumb, I mean, if you have any brain at all, you cannot listen to her. I mean, so that's my conclusion, is all the dumb, mean, she's like I guess she's the poster child for the tragically stupid and tragically ugly because, like I said, people of Walmart, yeah, that would be her. But yes, Betty should send her a thank you note because her foul ass exploits, I guess, have been a little extra in the past few days. See, back in the olden days when I was here the first time as Crimes and Fashion, PG was a special project of mine. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe we need to revisit a little bit of that. Okay, but back to saying hello. Oh, there's Grandma Sherry. Hello, how are you? Whose hair looks much better? No, BHP looks nice this morning. Stand by, please. Hold, please. Is she live right now? I'm not going to play her, but I need to see this for myself because I'm having a very hard time believing this. Okay, I'm just going to back her up. Well, look at that, Betty. Now you see that, Betty? She does look nice, or she does. So, Betty, good for you, girl. I have to say, her glasses are a huge improvement. Betty, I know you're listening. It's so obvious, okay? Because we'll say things and then all of a sudden she rectifies certain things. And your glasses are much better, Betty. Much better. Please, Mrs. Claus's glasses, give them back to her and don't ever wear those again on camera. Keep them in your car I mean, I have cheaters all over my house. I have them in every purse has a pair. So yes, much better. She definitely, but that hair, you're playing with fire, girl, because I can tell that you put an iron in that hair. That's not good. Speaking of irons, would you look at that? Oh, damn, it's at the worst place too. You see that? My flat iron, I went to get it. It was plugged in and whoo, damn, that lit me up. Yes, she looks now come on now, let's not go overboard here. She does look much better, absolutely. She does. Oh, maybe she's got a court date or something. What's she all dressed up for? You got a date, Bets? Hi, Cece Jones. All right, well, whatever it is that you're going to be doing while you listening, I sound like Betty in Prayer Garden now. While you're listening, I hope you enjoy. Oh, Daz thinks Betty's been listening to her new life coach, Lisa. Listen, I'm not that good. Hi, Marcy. But yes, she does. She looks better. And you know what? See, this is the difference between me and somebody like Betty. I mean, besides all the obvious. I can very much, like, I can give a compliment when a compliment is required or, should. I mean, we say so much bad, it's like I don't mind throwing her a bone. But Betty can't see, that's how you know Betty is mentally like 13, because she's got a little girl's mindset. She can't like make the distinction between just being a person with a little bit of class and manners or being Betty. Because Betty can't say anything nice about anybody that is not a sycophant for Team Betty. Hi, KB. Hi, Marcy. How are you? Hey, Bash. I got almost all the way through you and Emmy's live from yesterday. Bash was getting feisty. Bash, you need to come and do a live with me. We can be the, well, on Wednesdays we wear pink. For those of you who don't know, that is probably the most famous quote from the movie Mean Girls. Hey, Tattooed Birdie, how are you? Oh, the eye makeup made you stare? Hold on, let me go back and look. Well, she's filtered to the gods, number one. That's for sure. I can't really see. I can't get a read on the eye situation. I can't really see it. Yeah. Oh my God. Swear to God. I've got her playing in the other window. What do you think she just did? I have never seen Betty do that. Hey, Betty. Oh, she watches. She watches. I heard it was either Bash or Emmy. One of them said, Betty said, I wish you adieu. Bitch, you don't know French, please. Merci beaucoup. Je t'aime, Betty. And I have never seen her do that. Betty, usually when I do that, it's about you. Boy, she is a piece of work. You know what, Betty? Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. I don't mind being your ideal to strive for because let's not forget, I am a decade older than you. But we got to be realistic. We can't turn back the hands of time. Well, I mean, I guess they could, but boy, you're going to have to get grifting, girl, because it's going to take a scalpel. And even then, Jane says, how you doing? Betty's worn out bra. Happy Saturday, girl. Gina, if you are listening out there, I did see your text message right before I came in here. Y'all, I am so bad. When I come in here or when I make a video, I put my phone on silent. And oftentimes I completely forget to take it off of silent. And the reason I don't figure that out quicker is because you know how you can make exceptions in your settings for people whose, no matter what, their phone call or their text message is going to ring through, even when you're on do not disturb or silent. And the only people on that list are my immediate family. So a lot of times I don't even realize until I just happen to glance and say, oh shit. So, Gina, I did see your text right before I came in here, and thank you so much. You're so sweet, as always. Hey, Nonsense, how are you? I saw your truck. I was just starting your live from, I think it was yesterday, and you were in your rental. I'm really glad that guy. Do you know I told my husband the story? It wasn't. I didn't tell it as succinctly as obviously you do because you knew the story firsthand. But I was just telling him how the guy from the dealership who had no role to play in any of this debacle, how kind he was and how far he went out of his way to help you out. And I'm so glad that he did. Isn't that amazing? Sometimes the universe puts people in your life. Sometimes it's for a season, sometimes it's for a minute. But things have a way of working themselves out, and I'm so glad that at least the crisis in the immediate has been somewhat resolved. So I'm very glad for you and for the whole family. Grandma Sherry, the intro. Ooh, speaking of intros, Menace to Sobriety sent me a mock-up of what he's been working on. And oh my, I tell you what, he is absolutely a genius with all of the, what do they call that? Editing, production. He really is. He is the bomb.com. And he has made a lot of intros for a lot of creators. And when I tell you that I think he must have a magic wand because he managed to make some people that let's just say we all talk about unrecognizable. That's all I'm gonna say. But he's still you know, we're still in the creative process, but oh my, it's gonna be good. Hi Brittany, how are you? Hi Virginia. Happy Saturday. Turtle, how are you? Jenny D. Oh my. I was getting ready to have a rage at my mouse, but Betty's taking care of that for us. So I'm not gonna freak out on my mouse like Betty. Hi Liza, how are you? CK Warholia, how you doing? Hey J Dub, how are you? It's nice to see you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. It's me, Amberly. Hi Amy M. Queen Bella. Sassy since birth. How you doing? Hi Elaine. Hi Christy. Oh, okay. Do you have I know that you can get season passes to the Biltmore, you know, people who live in the Carolinas. I've mentioned many times that I've got family in Knoxville and we go every year, the day after Christmas, and stay until New Year's. And every year for the last probably 5, we want to go to the Biltmore and we go and they're like, sorry, we've all the tours for the day are done. So this, in fact, I just told my husband this morning, I said, honey, are we going? Because if we're going, I want to book now so that, because I've been, my husband has not. That was another girls' trip I went on. So my husband wants to go. Hi, Fit and Curvy. How you doing? Y'all, I'm kind of reading the chat. Mrs. Peacock. That's a new name. How are you? Oh, nonsense. One of your babies is having a birthday today? Hi, France. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. T-Pack, how you doing? Oh my God, you know what couch I'm talking about. Speaking of, oh my God, y'all, last night, let's just say I was doing something last night and I wasn't at my house, I was at someone else's house, and I watched a documentary on HBO called what's it called? I think it's called Bama Rush. If y'all want to see a fantastic documentary about Alabama, which is Roll Tide, they call it Bama Rush. And that's when the girls who are vying to get into sororities go through Rush. It is like the equivalent of Krama and Tragedy Pimp. It's something else, man. I tell you what, there is no creature crueler than a young, beautiful girl. It was eye-opening. Not that any of it surprises me, but whoo, it. And what's interesting is Bama Rush, that documentary was made because of the Instagram and TikTok girls who either were already in the sorority or they were going through Rush. And it was these posts, it was so highly produced and curated that it had an after effect of girls from all over the country who would have never, girls from California who would have never, a few said, look, I would have never even thought about going to Alabama were it not for these fabulous influencer posts. So if you like that kind of thing, it's like Mean Girls meets the real world. And of course, two that are in what they call a top tier sorority, beautiful girls. And they're sitting there like, well, you know, we're not the mean girls. They say we're stuck up. Why? All we do is like, just why? Because we just want to sit together and eat our chicken sandwiches together. I mean, it was like, wow, the delusion's real. But ooh, it's eye-opening. And I tell you what, because you know they're all like, bitch, who are you kidding? Well, we just sit around eating our chicken sandwiches. Yeah, that's until we turn the camera off and then we go to the frat house and yeah, that's when the real fun begins. I mean, I'm talking these girls hire a rush consultant. How is that for cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs? These are former sorority girls who are now, you know, decades out of college. And they're kind of like a life coach for your sorority ambitions. I mean, it's crazy. It is nuts. And I'm very glad I don't have a daughter, but if I did, I would be very hesitant. And the money it costs these girls to do this. It looked to me like on the very low end, $8,000 and up just to rush. And rushing, that's just the application process. That doesn't mean you're going to get in. And then once you're in, holy shit. But my God, on what they call, most colleges call it Greek row. And that's where the sororities and the frats are. And when I tell you that these were stunning antebellum looking mansions that these girls are living in, whoo, yeah. So don't ever think that it's just the football team that's bringing in the money. Of course, they make the most money for the school, but the that was eye-opening. Gee, if Betty and Prayer Garden had a sorority, what would it be called? I'll have to work on that. Oh no, what am I missing in the chat? Oh, okay, we're talking about, yeah. I guess I'm only at the part, see, I'm way behind you guys. Obviously, by the looks of the comments, you're talking about PG. Whenever I see disgusting, vile, exploiter, yeah, that's how I know you're talking about PG. Holy Dustbin. That's a new name. Welcome. No, Lisa was not a sorority girl. Still in leather. My mother would have loved for me to be a sorority girl. Well, hey, Kathy P. We meet again. Okay, we're almost to the bottom. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not reading all the comments. Hey, Nick, how are you? It's nice to see you. It's been a while. Hey, Sue. Julie, did I say hi to you? I'm not sure if I did. Hi again. Oh, there's Menace. Menace wants to know. Oh, wait, I'll do a PG. Menace to sobriety says, was Betty wearing Wild Bill Hickok's vest today? Oh, God bless you. God bless you. Fuck you, Menace. Fuck you. Let me go back and take a look. I've got her pulled up on the other screen. I'm not playing her though because, you know, she tends to feel. Whoops! What the hell? Wasn't she wearing like a black and white vest? Menace, I was just singing your praises. Paisley Park, how are you? Paisley Park, do you wear a raspberry beret? I think that's a new name. Welcome. Or if not, I haven't seen you in a while. Hi, Chris Cress. How you doing? Blank screen. Blank screen in the house. Oh my goodness, that damn mouse. Nick, my weekend is good. I need to start packing to go away. Diamond Cutter, how are you? Long time no talk. How you doing, girl? I miss you. I listened to you the other day when you were talking about I guess you had a hot mic moment with is it your sister-in-law or it was some family member that I don't know. Wait, it wasn't a hot mic. I think you sent, oh God, we've all done this. I think you sent a text message to the wrong person and it was about the person that you sent it to. Ooh, we've all done that to one degree or another. Sofa King Tight, if y'all are looking for a couch from a local independent furniture store, Sofa King Tight is your person. I'm never gonna stop saying that to myself for as long as I'm on YouTube. And if you know what that means. And Sofa King Tight really is not a furniture dealer. I thought that's what Sofa King Tight was. All signs say yes. Ooh. Wasn't that welcome, by the way? That's a new name. Wasn't that one of the things in the Magic 8 Ball when you would shake that thing up? I think that was one of the answers on the Magic 8 Ball. Not that kind of 8 ball. Hi, Glenda. Bullies Unlimited. Oh, that's a good one. Truth Hurts, how are you? Xena with Fire. Hi, Beverly. Wise Angel UK. Oh, well, Paisley Park. I'm glad. Listen, y'all, I just like to make people laugh. All right. Speaking of making people laugh, shall we cut to a bitch who's never laughed a day in her life, except when it's some bizarre cackle at an inappropriate time? Yes, I'm talking about Betty. First, I think there was, 90 Day Fiance. I'm going to, let's see. How about before I go out of town, I'm going to do a community post and I'm going to pick the day that we're going to do our first 90 Day Fiance. Which one are we doing? 90 Day Fiance, The Other Way, Season 5, Episode 1. If you haven't seen it, watch it. If you've seen it, watch it again, unless you can remember all of it, because let's just say, here's a preview. One of our couples, let's just say that when she, feels the need to, because she's a professional dancer, not poles, think like rah-rah, not a pole dancer. Well, I don't know, maybe she's a pole dancer without a pole. She's a pole dancer looking for a pole, and as she's looking for that pole, she's naturally going to ride her water buffalo to the you cannot make this shit up. And her counterpart, the love of her life, her American, she thinks he's a cross between Harry Potter and Justin Bieber, and she's probably not wrong. They're quite well matched because they are both the most issue-riddled, insecure, vapid, but they're very young, so I give them a pass for their stupidity because they have youth. But my God, but yeah, he's gonna leave he's going to leave the comfort of his RV that he lives in his, what the hell does he call them? His godparents. And he's going to leave all that goodness to go ride a water buffalo so his girlfriend can find a pole. So there you go. Tune in for that. It'll be good times, I promise, because if there's one thing I really excel at, I call it my useless talent. It's reading idiots for filth. But at least they seem nice. Here's just one more little sneak preview. He is the boyfriend of the couple. They're both the same age. They're 23. When we first meet him, now this is a new one. He's sitting on the throne in his motorhome with his, what looks like you know how a lot of cheap hotels, like, where Betty stays, they have those kind of like just a fiberglass acrylic drop-in pan that makes a shower. Well, he's got like the toilet version of that. And I must say, I've watched all these 90-day franchises, and I've never seen one where the opening introduction. Let's meet our contestant, shall we? Yes, so he's on the throne, and he's got his phone on a tripod about 4 feet away. Well, it's no, 2 feet away. Because these two spend, wait for it, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They have been together 2 years, which is absolutely shocking. 365 times 2. Yeah, I can't do that in my head. Days a year. Well, wait, I can do that in my head. 65 plus 65. That's 130. So 730 days a year. They sleep together, eat together, shiz together. Yeah. Next level, like cuckoo. Yep, but that's a new one. So there you go. That's what we're going to talk about. I will set the date before I leave in a community post. Mark your calendars, and we're going to get to wrecking some reality stars. It'll be a nice break from the real losers that we talk about here. Hey, Mom of a Gladiator, don't worry, you're not late. It's taken me longer and longer to get my shit together with these streams. Hi, Tia, how are you? Oh, nonsense. Well, listen, Betty doesn't even know what 1 times 5. She thinks it's 500. Damn, girl, you must be doing some like math like I have. That's shoe math right there. Oh, shoe math would be, what I can find all kinds of ways to justify any purchase. Hey, Mitten Mama, how are you? Kelly under chandeliers. Oh my God, look at that pretty avatar. I love that. I think you've been here before, have you? If not, welcome. Okay, I think I'm there. We're gonna get going. We're gonna get rolling. Okay, so there's the 90-day thing. I took care of that. Now off to the star of the show. Betty said no one ever. Did PG. Before I've got Betty queued up, ready to go, but before that, on a serious note, I'm sure they are not listening, especially if, Betty, I'm sure Betty gave the family the kibosh, like, don't listen to any of these channels. Everybody on there I am the only smart person on YouTube. Those are all haters. They're all jealous of me. I've got this beautiful hair. I've got this gorgeous luxury car. I've got this fabulous house. I've got an amazing husband. So on a semi-serious note, Not that they're ever going to hear it, but possibly if someone who, well, I want Betty to hear it. And we know she's going to hear it because she listens. And that is this. We're going to listen to Betty rage. And it's in part going to be due to this Layla Santinello case. Layla is missing out of Kingsport, I believe, Tennessee. And of course, Betty has gone there to grift money. I mean, she took the mystery van and Raggy. She and Scooby and Velma and Shaggy and Oblivia, whatever Menace calls her. That's hilarious. And something occurred to me as I was listening to her rage. I listened to it on Emmys, Headstones, and Headlines, she and Bash. And this is what occurred to me as she is frothing at the mouth. Betty, you need a rabies shot, okay? You and Prayer Garden. Like, y'all are rabid in different ways. Betty, are all your lawsuits getting to you? Or is it the balding? Like, what is it? You're very bothered. You're one of the most miserable women on this platform, probably in the state of Florida. Is it the heat? Because God, I know that. Now heat can make me feel like Betty. I mean, not from here down. Well, never mind. So on the off chance that someone maybe hears this that does know the family or is in contact with Layla's family, I would say beware of wolves that come in sheep's clothing. And while I can as a parent, I can completely understand your desperation to have anyone who's willing to lend a hand in the search for your daughter and for answers. What I would tell you is this. Betty doesn't do anything without Betty getting a benefit from it. And I know she made flyers or put flyers on telephone poles, whatever she did. I can assure you that, I mean, my understanding is there's a private eye that is actually working pro bono. That is an amazing blessing for you. And even if he is the worst PI in the world, he's a far sight better than Betty. And the very unfortunate thing about Betty being involved in your daughter's case in any way, shape, form, or fashion is this. Because here's what you don't have any way of knowing, because you've got better things to be doing with your time than researching Betty. And I know Betty is quite furious that people have reached out. Betty, get used to it. People are going to reach out. Everybody's got your number. And from now on, wherever it is you go, people are going to give the people who need to know a heads up on you, as is their right to do. But what's unfortunate and what she counts on and capitalizes on is the fact that clearly you've got better things to do when you find yourself in God forbid, in a tragic situation like this. If somebody says, I'll come put out flyers, I'll do this, I'll do that, great, thank you so much. Here's the very real consequence of even if you didn't let her, but people like me who would otherwise maybe pay more attention, but for the fact that Betty's involved in it, because nothing good happens when Betty's involved. And it's very unfortunate, but Betty's probably never done a benevolent thing in her life. She will, I assure you, there's an ulterior motive. And for her to be going around doing her own investigations, she's dumb and she's reckless. She has no business doing what she's doing. I don't have a problem with the woman making flyers and putting them on telephone poles or whatever it is she's doing. Great. But going around interviewing people, and you can be sure she turns on everyone. Okay. And she'll turn, if you, God forbid, you make one move that she doesn't like, you say something she doesn't like, you will then become the target of her anger. So do not believe her. I mean, honestly, when I listen to her say, we cleared that area. Like Betty, your time, pumpkin, would be better spent instead of pretending that you're all these things that you're not. Either go and get a real education so you can be these things. If you want to be a reporter, go to school. Get a degree in English, journalism. You want to be a professional searcher? Why don't you go work with an organization like Equifax, Jesus. EquiSearch. Well, you probably need to do some consulting with Equifax as well. Yeah. I mean, instead of worrying about everybody else's problems and what everybody else is doing and saying, like, why don't you do some work on yourself? Instead of reading that stupid fucking book that you've been reading for, 2 decades? It's not working. So the unfortunate result of Betty getting involved in anything is a lot of people like myself who might otherwise, that's really not my thing. I don't missing persons cases. That's just not something that I usually focus on. Betty will bring nothing good. Okay. And in fact, I would say the exact opposite. I would say that she delegitimizes and hurts the real investigation instead of her fucking Scooby-Doo and the gang in the mystery van pretending. I mean, we cleared this. I've got some intel that I'm, in confidentiality. I mean, I cannot be the only person who thinks this shit is absolutely insane, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Betty, you seem to be living this weird fantasy life here on YouTube while your own real life looks like it's in destruction, like smoking embers. Go get your life together. Figure out what the hell is wrong with you. Because Betty, you are hated by a lot of people with a lot of good reason. And you lash out, you're angry, you're spiteful, you're hateful, you're a fucking poser. You have accomplished exactly nothing in your life. And if I'm wrong, well, please share with the class. I mean, I don't even believe you've really got an education because you don't speak as one who has an education. And I just base that on my life experience, and that's my opinion. I'm allowed to have that opinion. I do not have to believe that someone who cannot write, cannot speak properly, doesn't seem to know what even a paragraph is or how to construct one, grammar, punctuation, etc. I do not have to believe that you are educated when everything you do points to the opposite. So why don't you go? I always go back to this question with her. Why don't you go and be one of these things for real? I mean, your bullshit press pass, your press pass is about as valid and legit as mine is. Yeah. See, because any dumbass can get a lanyard and you are a poser. Everything you do is just like, so go do it. Why don't you do that? I don't know. I can think of many reasons. All right, so I've got her all queued up. Oh, there's only one other thing I want to comment on about Betty before we get going here. My goodness. I was in the car. I told y'all I had to go meet with a client yesterday, and it's quite a distance from my house. Hi, Keeping Up with KP. I think that's a new name. Welcome. Nurse Bev, how you doing? I was in my car, and I think it was Emmy that I was listening to, and it was Betty and Oblivia, talking about fuses, and it's so unfortunate. Every time Betty gets in a car, it kind of like melts. It melts all her electronics. Now she needs a new car. Betty, take care of that thing. I mean, what do you expect? It's a beater that's got a billion miles on it, and you probably don't take care of it. So it's no surprise that it's, hey, Kay Kanuga, how are you? But she got to the part about Betty thinks it's like street cred, like it's a flex as a female to talk about some bullshit about I changed the water pump, I took the radiator out, I did this, I did that, and it only cost me $500. Betty, sweetie, you can keep that. If you think it's a flex to be a female and get grease under your fingers playing mechanic, okay, not in my world. I very proudly don't know how to do jack shit on a car except for turn it on and drive it away. Yes, that's the extent of my knowledge. I know it. I should know how to change a tire, but I don't, and I'm not going to. I kind of used the Scarlett O'Hara motto. I think it was Scarlett. I have always relied on the kindness of strangers. Yeah, that'd be me. Or, when that fails, I call Geico Roadside, or the maker of my car also gives you roadside assistance. So, yeah, that just was something that struck me. I was like, she's a chick, and she thinks it's, ew, I'm just like, God, is she a woman? Because she acts like a dude. Her mannerisms are like a guy. She's got an ass like a plumber. I mean, she is, I don't get it. She is just one of the least feminine women on here. I just like I cannot. There are so many things. I try and find things I can relate to this bitch on. I cannot. Not, I mean, and that kind of stuff. It's like, what woman wants to be all, thinking it's a flex to supposedly be able to play mechanic on your own car? Congratulations. No. You know what? I let a man do um pretty much anything when it comes to chivalry and whatnot. I let them open doors, all that, all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm not insulted when a man, and some men are very bold. Yeah, I'm just not that woman who wants to play, oh, I can do everything the boys can do. No, I'm that woman who's like, I will rely on my feminine wiles to get a man to do something for me. That's just me. Not Betty, but that's me. Okay, so speaking of, shall we? Betty, where are you? Where are you, girl? Okay. Come on, Betty. Come on, girl. Okay. What? What happened? I had her. Betty, why aren't you cooperating? Okay, there we are. I got her. Oh, should we read a community post from her first? I think we should. I think we should do that. And it was the reason I'm going to read the community post. It's not even for the community post itself. It is for the fact that someone made a comment about, oh, Betty's pointing out a sign. What's it say? You will never influence the world by trying to be like it. Bitch, you need to try and be more like a lot of things. I mean, and there's Betty wearing her rubber bracelets. Could you listen, if you insist on this juvenile bullshit of buying all your accessories at either Spencer Gift or the Pilot gas station, could you just match them to your damn outfit, please? But Betty, my goodness, you look like MGL in this picture. Goodness, girl, I gotta say. Let's see. I'll pull it up and share with the class. Share screen. I think it's this one. Yes, it is. Tell me she doesn't look like Molly in this picture. That's sorry, Molly. I know there was no cause for that, and I apologize. But it was just the first thing I thought. I mean, I think it's because of this. In Molly's case, it's because Molly's got filler in here. In her case, it's because her skin is sagging. But I saw the glasses and this, and I was like, holy shit, it's Molly. Sorry, Molly. I know I don't have any cause to do that to you. Oh, yes, and then we've got the multiple. Okay, here we go. I'm going to read this post because this is Betty. Okay. Whoops. Oh, goodness gracious. I don't think y'all can see it real well, so I'm going to read it. And I'm going to read it because this is Betty. This is who Betty is. I think this sums Betty up. She's so spiteful and so hateful. And because Betty's life is so devoid of all of the good things in life, she doesn't want to see good for anyone else. When I say I can't relate to her because I'm a girl, I'm not a female who's trying to fix my car and, think that makes me anything but, well, Betty, I know you like to copy me. Betty, I don't mind being your, what would you call that? Like your goal. I don't mind being the prototype that you're striving to be, but you can try and get my hair, but it's only gonna happen after you shave it all off and start over. So you can get my hair, but I mean, even that's a stretch because you're too cheap and your hair is just too destroyed. But you can try to do that. I'm well, I might have spoken too soon. Yeah, I mean, but hey, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Flattery, and you really should listen to some of the things I'm telling you, like the glasses. You look, Betty. I'm not kidding you, and maybe Emmy said it. Someone said it made her look 10 years younger. Now, I'm not going to say 10 years younger, but it absolutely made her look younger. And it is a 100% improvement. So, Betty, you see there? That came from me. Okay. So you should listen to me. Next, wardrobe. We can work on that. But I don't, much like you, Betty, I don't work for free. Okay, so here's what Betty wrote. Now, bear in mind, nobody was asking Betty for a dime, nothing. Betty, I mean, I don't know why Betty felt the need to comment on it, frankly. I don't ever comment on any of the shit that if someone from her channel, from her chat, I seriously doubt that she'd be nice enough to try and help someone because that's not who she is. But if she did, who cares? Like what? I don't even know the pretend person. I don't comment on any of her shit. I comment on her. But this is what Betty had to say about a situation that had absolutely nothing to do with her. Nobody asked her for a damn thing. Nobody would. Who would ask Betty for any kind of help with anything, monetarily or otherwise? Nobody would, because we all know you're a nasty, bitter bitch. You're not about Betty's only about Betty. Betty can't even help Betty. How's Betty going to help anybody else? So here's her post. Wow, just wow. We raise money to help families and victims while other channels raise money for friends and their pocket. What the fuck? Raise money? Okay, and I'm sure it goes without saying. I'm going to read it like she wrote it. Wow, just wow. We raise money to help families and victims while other channels raise money for friends in their pocket because of why exactly? Bitch, you need to meet a comma, okay? She can't pay her light bill? Question mark. Needs weed or beer money? What exactly? And I'm the problem, they say. Betty, how many times? Listen, you've copied that. You've listened to me about the glasses. Parlez-vous français? Okay. Now, please, I'm begging you. This is the advice you need to take. Go back to 8th grade English. Stop starting a sentence with the word and. It is appropriate in only very rare instances. This is not one. What is a grift? Question mark. You. It's pretty. Oh, hell no, she did not. It's Betty. Sentences have commas. You don't have to make a thought or a rant of 3 words and then use punctuation and then use 3 more words and another bit of punctuation. Honey, just use a comma. God, you are dumb as wood. And I'm the problem, they say. What is a grift? We've already covered this, Betty. It's petty swindling. You should be careful, Betty. Raggy. Make it make sense. I'm proud of what we do. Oh, there's the we. And I'm even more proud standing here watching the lives melt away day. Now that's your face that's melting day by day, honey. Jesus God. I mean, she is so ignorant. Betty, you are ignorant. You are unintelligent and you are ignorant as hell. And you're small, not your ass. You're yourself. You're being. You're small. You're a small person. I'm proud of what we do, and I'm even more proud standing here watching the lies melt away. What the hell does that even mean? Day by day, as they expose themselves. I haven't had to say anything nasty. Pardon me? Your daily existence is nasty. You thrive on it. That's what you run on. You run on vapes. Oh, I'm sorry, you don't vape anymore. You run on coffee and nastiness. That's what fuels you. And oh, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's only coffee that keeps you up all day and night working on your very important legal documents. Nothing. Just do you realize how stupid you are? I haven't had to say anything nasty, comma, I'm going to give you a point for that. Stop them, comma, there's another point. Harass them, ellipsis, nothing. You should have a comma there. Just have to sit back and watch them do all by themselves. God is great. You sure about that? Because he doesn't seem to like you very much. Because, oh boy. I mean, from where I'm sitting, you certainly... I don't even think I've ever... What is this with all you disgusting, amoral, skank, scumbag people like you? What is this thing you do where you just vomit out this vitriol over something that has nothing to do with you? You know why you're so bitter? Because you are ate up. Well, number one, you're ate up with the dumbass, and you are jealous. You should have called yourself Petty Betty, because that's who you are. You're jealous, you're small, you're hateful, you're vindictive. And all this is because you can't, Betty, you've got a bunch of people that are dumber than you who sit in your chat every morning, your little coffee beans. But I'd be willing to bet that those people are just there to watch your white trash self have one of your epic meltdowns like we're about to watch. But do I think any of those people actually give a shit about you? No. And that's what fries your ass about Queen Bee. You're so jealous because you can't understand how she garners the support of so many people, and not just idiotic, stupid people like follow you. I mean, look at the way you write, for Christ's sake. You don't tell me there's any smart people that roll with you. I mean, I'm losing IQ points just trying to read this insanity. And you can't figure out how Queen Bee can have such a wide variety of people. Look what they have done. There's that too. Woo, you just hate. You hate that she's got a lawyer, and she's got a fantastic lawyer, and he's got your number. He's got you all figured out, because Betty, you're not hard to figure out. And he's going to whip your ass in court. Betty, you do realize that all of Krama is laughing at you, right? You get that? The only and I don't even think your idiotic morons believe you're what you want them to think you are. You're an idiot. And that is why you would make such a hateful post about something that had nothing to do with you. And what you're talking about has nothing to do with Queen Bee either. None of the funds were for her or were going through her hands or anything else. So suck it, bitch. You're small. Excluding your ass, of course. That's not small. You're small in here because, you could work on your physique. You need to work on your soul because you're small and you're petty and you're hateful and you're ignorant. Go work on yourself. Instead of worrying about everybody else, you need to worry about you. You can't help anybody. You can't even help yourself. God is great. Like, what is that with all these people that do this? They're hateful, shitty, nasty, just shit people. And they think that by saying, God is great, God bless you. Yeah, no, if that's, I don't buy into that. That's, no, I don't. You must go to the Reverend Feller's church. I don't even think I ever heard them raise $1 for flyers, banner, or take in their own pocket for financial resources to any real family in need or crisis. Let me tell you what I do, you stupid ass bitch. I pay taxes. Do you? I guess we're going to find out, aren't we? Yeah, that's what I do. I'm not a dumbass moron who needs to go tripping the light fantastic across the United States in my beater car that I need to beg my subs to, either buy me a new one or fix the old one. I don't need to do that. I don't need to go out in the 1,000,000-degree heat because there are professionals to do that job. I don't pretend to be all these things that I'm not, like you do. So that's what I do, Betty. That's what I do to help. And how would you know, by the way, what anyone has done on this platform? Because not everybody lives their shitty, miserable life for the entertainment of everyone else on YouTube. You have no clue. Betty, I could show you something that would make you fall out of your fucking chair. And let's just say that I'm pretty sure that, see, if I was like you, I would do that. You do understand that there are real world endeavors that people put their resources behind? Because a lot of times when people who really have money and they invest in their community, as you like to talk about things like that. Well, the smart people, they put their money where it can do the most good. They don't come to Krama and buy fucking flyers. So who do you think you are? You have no clue what, not any clue what any of us have or have not done. Okay? So suck it. And no, you're right. I've never raised $1 for flyers. Our channel. Who is our? We, our. They don't even want to hang out with you. Maybe they've asked their audience. Betty, much like your speaking voice, you're very fragmented. Like, none of this is our channel has helped over 20 families with flyers, banners, search efforts, and financial recourses. What the fuck is a financial recourse? You're so lazy. You don't use punctuation. With the exception of the exclamation point, you're quite fond of that one. Shocking. What is a financial recourse? I think you mean resource. Yeah, but because you're too lazy and or stupid to proofread your idiotic comment. But you know what? I guess it makes sense because we see how you present yourself. The way you present in the physical is basically the manifestation of the way you write and or think. Ouch. Ouch. We've put these cases in front of millions of viewers on various platforms. We make a difference. Real victims, Betty. There should be an apostrophe in there to indicate possession. You know, the families, the victims, families. Boy, you really need to go back to middle school English. Real victims' families appreciate our work and or efforts. You mean our efforts, idiot? Makes you wonder why these channels that refuse to really help these families attack those who do and then attack an innocent family if they don't fall in line with their campaign to attack me. Great job. You're fucking illiterate. You are illiterate. I gave you too much credit. You belong at the Church of Prayer Garden. Okay, that's your tribe. Those are your peeps. The illiterate and the very appearance challenged. Go over there, Betty. You can, boy, you and Prayer Garden, you two could change the world. I'll continue to do this great work, and we will keep watching these masks of deception fall from the other channels as we continue to watch them expose themselves and their true intention. Wow. 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 Bitter and ugly and small. Your table for one is now available. God, you are so gross, Betty. Oh, wasn't that fun? Betty, why are you so mean? Oh boy. Betty. Petty Betty. Okay, now off to the real fun. We're going to listen to Betty as she starts to rage. Betty, are you okay? Like, you know, they make medication for that. You're so angry. You're so mean. Like, why are you so bitter? Menace, seriously? Like, fuck you, haters. She writes, I guarantee you that this is a manifestation of what goes on up here. And so is this. So is the outside. All right, kids, are you ready for the good part? There's no good parts. This is Betty. Come on. Okay. We're going to present full screen. Take it away. Suck it, you haters.
My beautiful people of YouTube, I got a couple new pairs of glasses. The reader.
Oh my God. I just saw. Please tell me, is Betty, my God, it's one step forward, two steps back. She is wearing those glasses on a chain or a what? Betty, like, what? Why are we all of a sudden now wearing our glasses on a chain? I gave you high marks for getting glasses that actually make you look less ugly than you are. Good for you. And Betty, you know what it is that makes you so ugly? I mean, besides your hair and your face, it's what's inside. That's what makes you so ugly. I talk about shitty people. I talk shit about shitty people. Nobody will ever see me sit up here and talk about nice people. No. So, Grandma, while I like your new glasses, it was a vast improvement. Betty, girl, you need to be careful because you've got your hoops, your ever-present hoops at, what is it, 4 a.m. Betty's here is a woman who will not fix her hair and put on a clean shirt. Maybe matching is way too much to ask. makeup out of the question. But no matter what time of the day it is, she will put on hoops. Maybe that's her security blanket. But Betty, honey, I'm telling you, I'm just trying to help you avert a fashion, like a very, what could be a serious accident. You're going to get the whatever that abomination is that you're wearing those glasses on, like a 78-year-old librarian. You're going to get that thing wrapped up in one of these hoops, and you're going to start raging over something, and you're going to do one of these, and you're going to lose an earlobe. I mean, it's going to happen.
Ears aren't quite in yet.
Oh,
So
wait a minute. Sorry. Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use. Fair use is a use. God, dang it. Why do I always flub this? Gotta get the paper. Y'all, I have a mental block when it comes to this thing. I don't know what it is. I can sit out on my couch and memorize the whole thing. And the minute I sit in this chair and start to ramble it off, Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976 allows for fair use. Fair use is a use that might not otherwise be permissible. Fair use is permissible for education, research, commentary, teaching, etc. This falls under fair use, bitches. Oh shit, what did I do? Okay, carry on.
To digress to my prior reading glasses, but there they are. I am going blind, folks. I am officially.
I wish I was going blind right about now.
Going blind. I am aging. This sucks.
You're aging far too fast. I am 1 decade older than you, and you look the way you do because you've lived a rough ass life and you're ugly inside. So, your outside's just trying to catch up to your inside.
I have to be honest with you. It sucks. So we did a little bit different intro coming in a little bit longer because I'm just recapping all the work I did yesterday,
Betty,
this morning,
Betty,
and then
shut up, bitch. What do you mean all the work you did yesterday? You don't work. What are you talking about? Because if work is what you're doing, then work is most assuredly what I'm doing, because at least I put on a full beat, 6-inch heels, and usually, except on the weekends, put on a lovely outfit. So if this is work, well, then I guess I'm a professional therapist, and I'm the CEO of, I'm your boss if this is work, that's for sure. And you're fired.
All the research that's going to go into our case for today.
Oh, yes.
Cases.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to be.
What about your own case? So let me get this straight. So other people's cases, you're sitting up all night doing research.
Okay. Diving right in here, we're going to get a little bit back to the swing of things. We've got our handy dandy language of letting go that gets us through each and every day.
It's not working. It's not working. Try the Bible, okay? Because you're very religious, so there's that. You're a godly woman. Read the Bible, Betty. Number 2, clearly that book that you've been trying to read for a decade and a half, as I've told you 1,000 times, at least you won't look like the idiot that you do if you're reading from the Bible every morning, because that is the only book it's acceptable to be reading and failing at. I mean, is it that you're just too dim-witted to understand the principles in that dumb book you're reading? It's not working, Betty. Much like everything else in your life, it's not working.
Because we as human beings struggle.
We don't like struggle a lot more than others.
Life kind of sucks. We all just want to wake up.
No, your life sucks. Your life sucks for all the reasons that I just mentioned, and I'm not going to enumerate again. But my life does not suck. My life is fabulous.
Have a big pile of money in our bank accounts,
It's got
and be
nothing to
able
do with
just to
that.
do whatever we want each and every day. But we've got to get up, we've got to go to work, we got to pay the bills, right?
No, I have a husband that does that, but yeah, I guess you don't because you're you. And yeah, God, oh Betty, just think if you could find a man to. Never mind.
So what helps us with that?
But
Well, here on the
that
Blue
dumb
Betty
book?
channel, we like
No, what helps us with that is you. The hold on a minute. Hold on, kids. Namaste, bitches. Yes, Betty, you are the Krama Lama. Dalai Lama. You're the Krama Dalai Lama. You're what gets us all through our days, Betty. All of those of us whose days suck. My day does not suck.
to give ourselves, our heart, and our day over to God. And we find
What? Does your God tell you to be a hateful, spiteful, evil bitch? Is that what your God tells you? Did you forget to turn your day over to God like all those last 364? What happened? Did he give it back to you? He gave it back, didn't he? He said, no, even you, I can't help.
that a lot
Betty,
of people are codependent.
Betty,
And I,
what
myself,
up? God dang, you are so rude. Betty, I think you need to, you're way beyond that book, Pumpkin. You might want to look into an exorcism. I think that's what you need. The language of letting go, loving go, no, you can't do any of the above. You consider an exorcism.
codependent person. And so I have been reading this book for 15 years.
And
over
failing.
15 years.
Betty,
And every single
Betty!
time.
That is so embarrassing. That is so utterly embarrassing. And Betty, let me, not for nothing, but let me just make this observation. I have cookbooks that are 1,000 times more worn than that thing. You are not reading that book. The pages look very crisp. And I noticed there's no that all the pages still look very white. Betty, I think you're lying.
It's the same stuff day after day.
Day after day.
Same exact print on. I can tell you that last year on August 25th, we were reading the same message today, August 25th. But what is so amazing about this book is you get something new out of it each year. It's like rereading it all over again for the first.
That's because you're not that smart. And you're not, Betty, here's the deal. I mean, I don't read self-help books because I got my shit together. I didn't always have my shit together, but it's not just about reading the words on the page. You're supposed to read the words and then put them into action in your own life. It's not working. Exorcism. Oh, son of a bitch. Okay, that was just a little bit of funny. We're getting to the rage now. Hold on. It's about 26. Oh, there we go. All right, Betty. Come on, girl. Bring it.
Getting involved. I went out there, I searched, I found.
Well, I want to make sure we start at the very beginning of the
Focus
rage.
us kind of in certain areas,
Oh, shit, I
we're
think
going
I
to be
went too
talking
far.
about something else that went on in Idaho. You know how we
Okay.
have these cases, so we're constantly searching, and then some story, some crazy wild story pops up in some of your searches because you're looking at Manhattan and you're looking at Idaho and stuff like that. It just happens.
This is the woman that thought all of New York was Manhattan. I guess that means you've never been to the Hamptons. Would I be correct in that assumption? Only if it was to clean up after a party or valet park some cars.
Lo and behold, a couple of things had happened. Folks, we have got to be careful who we trust with our children, even the people.
Says the woman who, thank God, did not further, traumatize the world by letting one of her eggs, all Betty's eggs are scrambled, hopefully.
People that we think we can trust. And
Well, Betty, you don't even have the good sense to wear pants when you assault someone. So I don't need you worrying about my kids or anybody else's kids. Okay, stick to what you know.
here,
I don't lecture you on, I don't give you advice on how to be mean, hateful, tragically dressed.
the
You get
YouTube
the
trolls are
picture.
something else. Still reaching out to the. Oh no, it is horrible. It is absolutely horrible.
It's horrible.
So
Ahara.
everybody knows that I am, just trying to assist.
She is Dusty. I can't keep defiling his name. If you know, you know. Every time I look at her, she's a professional wrestler. And she has my old Lhasa Apso's underbite.
It's all I'm doing. I'm not getting involved. I went out there, I searched, I found information, I gave that to the mother.
Oh my God, do I have to
Her-
apologize to her? I think I do. Oh, Betty, I'm so sorry. Those glasses are not on a chain. That's her. Okay, sorry, Betty. That's my bad. Sorry.
Buyers, and I provided her that
I can see
information
it
under
from now.
confidentiality, and I'm keeping it confidential.
I'm keeping it confidential as I'm like blasting shit all over YouTube. I've got their daughter's name in my mouth every chance I get. And then, of course, we've got the, I don't know, how many people, like, how many GoFundMe links are there? That's what Betty should look into.
People out there saw me helping her, and they went in it. They tried to tried to make me look bad.
No, Betty. We don't have to try to make you look bad. You make yourself look bad every single day of your life. There's nothing I could say to make you look or sound any worse than you do. And that is, don't you lay that at the feet of the YouTubers. That's all on you, honey.
Try to, and this has happened before. This is not the first.
And you better buckle up, Buttercup, because it's going to happen all the time. It's not going to happen because of me. Because, Betty, if you were on fire and I walked by, I wouldn't pour my cold Starbucks on you, okay? I wouldn't. I also wouldn't cross my street to cause a problem for anyone. That's just not me. I keep my shit on YouTube. I talk about shitty people like you, and then it's done. I'm not going to be calling families, none of that. But there are plenty of people who will, and thank God there are, because they do. Every place your raggedy ass, that's for you, Savage, tragedy pimping ass, plumber's ass, goes, honey, your days of landing boots on the ground, pay less boots on the ground. Your days of doing that and not having your reputation there waiting for you, I'd say those days are over. And if that was so important to you, then I don't know, maybe you should have conducted yourself in a different manner.
First time we have, we know who's.
By the way, since you took my advice about the glasses, that chair is disgusting. It's hideous. It's a piece of shit. Throw it on the curb and get a big girl piece of furniture. Okay? And it clashes terribly with all the other shit you have going on in there. I'm glad to see that you painted your office, that you went with more of like a mossy green and got rid of the institution green. Okay? I'm going to give you another high mark for that. And all that shit that's behind you, all you see is your big ass head with your melted hair. your chair that it's awful. It's gross. Get rid of it.
Doing all of this. And so anyways, this person reached out, argued with this mother, like, look, she's been begging for help for over a month. Not one YouTuber, not one social media person, not one news organization,
You are a liar and you're full of shit. Bash the Tragedy Pimps lives there, unlike you. She has seen it on news channels. She said she saw it as far away as, was it Knoxville? Another county away. She drove around the area. There's lots of flyers. This is one of these, this is a tactic Betty uses. It's not really a straw man. It's kind of like a straw man. Betty's going to present a scenario that she has no way. Betty, God, it's like, this is like explaining something to a child, one that's not very smart. Do you understand this, Betty? This is how thinking people know that you are full of shit. This is all a game. This is a grift. It's a con. Call it what you will. Serious people, thinking people like me. I would never in a million years sit in this chair and make a statement like this. There's not one YouTuber out there who's done one thing to help Bullhorn Betty. There's not one of you that's ever reached out to Betty in any way to see if they can pay for maybe some therapy for her. See what I'm saying? That is a false premise. It is absurd because there is no way in hell that I have there's no way that I could know any of what I just said, much like what you are saying now. You have no way in this world to say any of what you're saying. It is emotional manipulation is what it is. That is all manipulation and virtue signaling. And now she's going to tell you how Betty's the only one who cares about anything and Betty's going to save the day. God, you are a moron. Betty, if you didn't have this YouTube channel, do you know where I think you would be? You'd be like a carnival. You would belong at a carnival. Like, why don't you go work at the, where you throw the darts at the balloon wall? Or you hold the little, you like pew-pews so much. Maybe you could go work in the game where it's water that comes out of it. And you got to hit the target and it, first one to reach the top and set off the little, the red flashing light, you know what you're very familiar with that, like what's on a cop car. Yeah. And the music, and then you get to pick out a big, probably flammable stuffed animal. That's your level of thinking. If you didn't have this YouTube channel to, run your pretend professions.
Outside of their local news organization, putting one little, here and there about Layla up. She was begging for help. Somebody reached out to me with a story. I didn't even find the story. Like, the story was non-existent. Okay.
That's another lie. You're an idiot. That's another lie. I do believe that Bash said there was at least one other channel that talked about this 2 weeks before you. As to whether or not you found them, they found you. Who cares? Don't know. I would tend to believe that you didn't find them because you're all about this. You choose your cases and your victims by this, whatever you think is going to make you the most of this. And my guess would be the 5, well, I'll give you 10. The 10-watt light bulb up here went off and she said, oof. Raggy. Did someone say Kingsport? Who else lives near Kingsport? Ching, 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 ching. Yeah, Summer Wells. That would be my guess.
Had no idea that this was going on in Kingsport. One of our followers on this channel, one of the followers that has been following this channel since Summer Wells, reached out to me and said, "Hey, look, I didn't think this would ever happen.
Look,
My
there's
friend,
only one
my
person
friend's
in the world that can help. Betty, we need you. God. Betty, if you didn't look the way you did, I would assume that this is all like ego.
daughter is missing, and she's been begging for everybody to help, and nobody's picking up her case."
What does that mean? Nobody's picking up her case. She's talking about the social media people. Well, Betty, you know what, honey? You know what's interesting is when you were live the other day and you were, doing something much like this. You know what I did? I went online and I said, how many people are missing in Manatee County, Florida? And you know what? There's some missing people in Manatee County. My goodness, that's close to home. Why aren't you it's interesting why you don't focus your efforts. I mean, right in your own county. Oh, and you know what? They had pictures that went with them. Then that kind of made it a little more understandable. Actually, one is a very elderly person, and they've been missing quite some time. Don't you? I mean, doesn't charity begin at home?
So, she gave me a couple, I have to verify that this is not a troll, so we go through this whole,
How do you do that?
but at the very beginning, she had already given me a whole lot of information, even some resources to show me, where to go look. And true enough, this truly was a case. She gave me the mother's number.
This truly was a case. Ruh-roh, Raggy. This truly was a case. Yeah, idiot. Why else would she? This truly. You see, she makes it up as she goes along. When you're smart like me, Betty, you can do that. You can ad lib. You can't. Yeah, no, you're lost.
And of course,
I mean,
naturally, because we're always under attack, I thought
that Betty, honey, come down off that cross. Like, you're a martyr. And you know why you're under attack? Because you're a wretched bitch. That's why. I don't know how to make it any. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you, pumpkin. I'm not exactly known for that.
this was kind of somebody trying to troll me.
Oh,
trying to figure out what we do.
Like the glare did when he called you and wanted a date. Oh, God. That was so embarrassing. Whew.
Well, whatever. So I thought it was a troll. So I went on the TikTok to listen to her voice.
The TikTok.
Because I knew that truly was attached to the real Jennifer Santinello. So I went over to the TikTok and I listened to the voice. And I call the number that I'm supposed to get. And I get a voicemail, or I can't even remember. Maybe Jen did pick up the phone. And I'm just like, hi, I'm Andra.
Betty, why are you wasting time telling us how to make a phone call? Like, do you think that? Well, I mean, I think your people are dumb as hell, but you also must think that way? Either that, or you're just making some bullshit up as you go along. Because why are you wasting time? Your valuable time. You're a very important person. Why are you wasting valuable time telling us how you make a phone call and what you say? Like, most of us can figure this out.
I'm better known as, Bullhorn Betty, and your friend reached out to me
amongst other things.
Want to tell me about your case, and the mom is literally scared half out of her mind.
No shit.
She has nobody helping her. She just needs to get her daughter's name out there. So I just said, I didn't really want. It was a long trip to Tennessee.
Betty, why did you? Honey, how come the only way you can help is to get in your car and go to Tennessee? That doesn't make sense. Couldn't you have just called ahead to Staples or somewhere and give them your credit card? Probably prepaid. And give them the green light to print 2 acres worth of paper. I mean, why? I'm just curious why, like, most people don't go from hi to, well, it's a long trip. Because what are you? Who are you? What the, like, it would be like me coming to you when I need to get my hair done. I don't call an architect when I want surgery. So why would, oh, I mean, if it's just about your channel and using your platform to help them get the word out, well, why couldn't you do that from the comfort of your beautiful office? Like, why did you need to get in your beater and go to Tennessee? Oh, unless it had something to do with Summer Wells and, you know, grifting more money off the back of that child.
On all fairness, I wasn't going to go there. I wasn't going to help in the search. I wasn't going to assist. I was going to purchase the flyers and leave it at that.
That's what you should do.
But there was something about this case that when I came out here and nobody was
Summer
really picking it
Wells.
up, I
That's what it was
figured
about,
that
in
this
my
case
opinion.
needs attention. And honestly, I didn't care if we got hated on to get the attention that it.
Oh, no, you do. You care very much, which is why you behave the way you behave. I mean, the only thing thinner than your hair is your skin. You care very much, which begs the question, why don't you just try to be a decent, nice person like me? I mean, because like I said earlier, I don't sit in this chair and bust on nice people. I bust on shitty people. And I can promise you, I don't lose 1 second of sleep over what you or anybody else has to say about me, because I know who I am, and I'm quite fine with me. You are not fine with you, which is why you let all this eat you up. So you do care, Betty. You care very much.
Needed, or that it would be successful when we went out there. I just wanted to get eyes on the case.
Yeah, you just need Scooby and Shaggy's eyes on the case, and Daphne and Velma, they'll park the van. Yeah. Why would you mess with law enforcement or licensed private eyes? And why? You can have Betty.
Now, since then, because I went out there and because the mother was grateful that somebody actually gave a damn, these people wanted to attack her, acting like we worked together. I didn't coordinate.
I don't know about anybody attacking the mother, and that would be terrible. But I would never take just Betty's word for it. I've not heard of anyone attacking the mother. I absolutely condemn that in the strongest sense of that word. Nobody should be condemning the mother for reaching out to you. All the normal people out here completely understand that the woman's desperate to get, because Betty, unfortunately, there's a lot of crime in this world, and there's only so many people that can run down leads and cases because there is so much crime. So nobody's condemning the mother. They're pointing the finger at you and showing you for who you are. You've never done a decent thing in your life if you weren't benefiting from it in some form or fashion. And your very long tragedy pimp resume precedes you. You're the one being condemned, not the family.
This girl Jen lost her daughter long before I picked up this case. The reason why it's on my channel is because we've got lazy people out there that refuse to run this case. I would not have had to go out to Tennessee if some of the YouTube and content creators would have just helped this woman.
Betty?
Right? If they would have just helped her. Ran the case on their freaking channel.
Listen, skank, you run whatever the hell you want to run on your channel. You don't get to tell anybody else what they need to be doing on their channel, okay? God, you're like a fucking child. She is so immature. Honest to God, she is like a 12-year-old. It's like, oh God, she's just infuriating because she's such an idiot.
I can name literally 5 creators right now that live in Tennessee that didn't do a damn thing to help.
So fucking what? What is your point? Who the hell do you think you are?
Help this family. Not one.
You haven't helped that family either. What the hell did you do? What have your efforts yielded? Not a fucking thing, except for probably some money for you and, eyes on your channel. You are so full of shit, and only the people that are dumber than you believe it.
And the one person that did, not only do they attack me, but they attack the family. And there are people literally doing that still to this day. And the lady's just wanting to know where her fucking daughter is.
Woo!
That's it.
Woo! Betty's bringing it.
That's all she wants. She wants her.
Betty, bring it. Ooh, I think somebody's lawsuit is getting to somebody. Damn, Betty's losing her shit. Come on, let's face it. Betty's looking like the ass clown that she is. She thought she was going to play Perry Mason, and no, instead let's put it this way. If this lawsuit party that she started does not shine a big old Klieg light, kind of like the one she's shining on her face right now, to show everyone what a poser she is, then there's just no help for you.
Her freaking daughter back in her damn arms. That's it.
Woo!
And you guys are attacking her.
No, we're attacking you. I'm not attacking anybody. Betty, listen, if you're really so benevolent and you're so worried about this poor woman, you know what you could do for her? The best thing you could do for her. Quit talking about it. That's all. And I don't know that anything Betty is saying is true, but if it is, which I'm not going to believe it coming from her, but if the woman is getting heat because she's acting in accordance with Betty, that's wrong. And just by virtue of the fact of what the woman's going through, no one should ever do that. Period. End of story. And if Betty actually gives a shit about her, well, Betty, you're not planning on, what more can you do now, honey? You're home. So the best thing you could do for that woman, just like, if you want to post community posts, why don't you just post her flyer every day on your community post? Why don't you run maybe instead of your Cash App, your PayPal, your Venmo, your this, your that, the other, on that banner, why don't you maybe run Layla's information? You could do that.
She gave me the wrong flipping GoFundMe thing.
Ooh, looks like somebody's trying to come up with something in her head. And it does beg the question, if she's only ever had one GoFundMe, well, then how could it be the wrong one? That's what I don't get.
Are beating her up over that because she's frantic looking for her daughter and she's trying to get me this stuff over and she gave me the wrong freaking link.
Betty, let me just dumb it down for you since you're dumb. I'll dumb it right on down for you. I think that most people on here, anything you're concerned in, we're all very cynical because we've seen your behavior and we know you're a tragedy pimp, Betty. You're a grifter, in my opinion. That is my opinion. You don't have a job. Being a tragedy pimp is not a job. So whenever Betty and money and asking for money are all involved in the same, y'all are walking the same blade. Well, people tend to get a little skeptical and they think that maybe some shenanigans are afoot. Sorry, your reputation precedes you.
And these people are attacking his mother, and people are standing by.
Are you sure this isn't you? Well, I guess you've gone from strangling people and running down the street with no pants on to confining your freakouts to YouTube. Do we keep our hands to ourselves now? I hope so. But clearly you've just lost your shit. And I'm sorry, I just don't believe it's because of all the meanies on YouTube being ugly to that mother. I don't believe that. I think it's you who's getting shit. And I think it's you who's cracking under the pressure of your very poorly constructed, I use that in the loosest possible sense of the term, image. It's falling apart. What was that you said? You said lies are melting away. I don't know what the fuck that means, but I would say your very poorly constructed resume and image is falling apart. And I think you're playing with real legal professionals now, and you're being shown. Not only are you going to get obliterated, you're already obliterated. It's going to be obvious for all of this community to see and to laugh at you. And we're all you talk about popcorn emojis. And I know where to buy popcorn. And I know how to find it. We're all just, oh, Betty, it couldn't happen to a nicer person.
And just no.
What is that? What woman? God, you sound like you need a rabies shot.
You don't do that. You don't do that to any freaking.
Meet Andrew Griffin. You can call yourself Sam the Seal, Bullhorn Betty. Call yourself whatever you want. That was Andrew Griffin.
Parent. She's still, just this morning, 5 minutes ago, saying, I can't believe they're attacking. Like, she's at her wits freaking end, and she just wants to know where her.
Translation: I can't believe that fucking bitch got a lawyer. I can't believe they paid for a lawyer for her. And now I'm getting shown to be the friggin' idiotic poser that I am. That's what she really meant to say. There's not a person alive that thinks all of this is because Betty is so angry about how that mother's being treated. Bullshit.
Her daughter is, and instead of these animals helping, remember.
Speaking of animals, you kind of look like an animal right now. Like, I don't know, maybe a badger or a pit bull. Yeah, you look like an animal that needs a rabies shot. I'm just sitting in my chair minding my business.
I was the worst person on YouTube because I don't help.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you're the worst, but you're definitely on that list. You are firmly sitting at that table.
Families, they do. They're the ones. These uneducated people that can't.
Betty, you need never again in your life call anyone uneducated. You do not know what a paragraph is. You do not speak proper English. The only punctuation you've ever met is an exclamation point. Shockingly, you're the one who's uneducated, Betty. You.
Graduate high school for some reason are the ones that are going to be able to help this family.
Where's Betty? Where'd you graduate high school? Because I don't know. Based on everything I've seen and heard, I doubt that you did. And that's just my opinion. And I'm basing that on the fact that I don't know any people who are truly educated and speak and write as you do and have the very illogical thought processes you do.
Until they can't. Right? Until they just won't. Right? They are the ones that know how to do this thing, right? So when they don't get their way, they attack a family and their audience is just okay with that. And you think it's me that's the problem?
You are the problem in many instances. And why are you trying to be the boss of YouTube? Like, girl, you can't even be the boss of your hair. Like, take that off your table, off your plate, okay? That's way above your pay grade, like almost everything else you attempt to do. So just, Betty, calm down and stop worrying about things that you have no influence over.
This woman still needs help.
Go help her. Betty, go move in. Go sleep on her freaking couch. I don't care. Go help her. But you don't need to tell me what I need to do. Go help her. I'm sure like everything else, you'll help until the money's not there anymore.
And nobody gives a damn what they're so worried.
Do you think when Betty played, like when I was a kid, I played school. And I would always make my brother, like, guess who always wanted to be the teacher? My brother was younger, so we had no choice. But I'm pretty sure that Betty, even in her pretend school, which, let's face it, I don't think she's learned much more than she did when she was playing school. I'm pretty sure Betty wanted to be the teacher. Oh, no, Betty was the principal. Yes, Betty would have been the principal. She would have been paddling everybody.
Worried about is, oh my God, Betty. It ain't fucking about me.
Oh, God.
It never happened.
Oh, God. You're scary. Like, damn, girl, you are losing your shit. And it is not cute. It is not cute at all. But it's nice to finally meet the real Andra. Whew.
Has been. This idea that we're here to make money. I don't have that much money. I'm not.
Well, you have more than your... Aren't you on disability? Don't you get some kind of government assistance? I'm betting that... well, thank you for stating the obvious. I mean, you don't exactly look like you're rolling in dough, but it's still more money than you were probably making when you were doing nothing. You know.
I'm not living in a lap of luxury, folks.
No.
I live in a small house. My freaking car is falling apart, for the love of God.
Well, try not driving it all across the continental United States to stick your big ass and your big fucking mouth into things that don't concern you, if for no other reason but to save your car.
I don't bring that to my audience attention, but it doesn't really matter.
What are you talking about? Oh my God.
But these lies have got to stop.
Then shut up.
Here on YouTube.
Oh, Betty is the boss of YouTube. These lies have got to stop. Oh my God. Betty, you know what? Let me pop back over into the chat. I need a break. The fucking DEF CON drama. I'm exhausted. I don't take pills, but My God, you make me want a damn Xanax. Betty, you're going to blow a gasket. Kyla, and listen, unlike the head gasket on your car, you're not going to be able to fix this one. Betty, you're working on an aneurysm, pumpkin. I mean, Betty, stop trying to be the boss of YouTube. What is wrong with you? You are losing your shit. Betty, this is so not a good look. I mean, nothing is a good look on you, but like, why do you want to make it worse? Well, hey, Catherine, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while. It's nice to see you. Oh my God, you guys. Oh, well, Sofa King Tide. Yes, Betty has said that I've heard it in the past, that she's on some type of government assistance. But I guess we're gonna find out real soon. What is Betty on? Because those tax returns. Yeah. Stereophonics. Hi. Hi, Running Bear. How are you? Oh God, Lisa's about to fall off her damn chair. I had to stop. Betty's like, my God, Betty, if you put this much energy and emotion behind your damn English grammar skills, holy shit, the world would be a better place. Sofa King, she is absolutely going to have to comply with Discovery. And even if she drops her lawsuit, and let's face it, y'all, I'm a big fan of parables, fables, adages, axioms, call it whatever you want. Pride goeth before a fall. Emmy, she does need a Xanax, and I need about 12. My God, I don't know how you spend this much time around her. I seriously don't. Nonsense. I think that's a good question. And financials, I do not believe that financials can be sealed, because listen, this bitch might think she's some kind of ghetto Amber Heard. She kind of is. But normal people do not get to have in the course of the pendency of a lawsuit party that they started, they don't get to have all the documents sealed. Now, not the financials. I would be incredibly shocked if she could do that. However, the medical stuff, that yes, because that's HIPAA. But like I said, things have a way of, once the case is over, of course, and there's a disposition. But the financials, oh yeah, those financials those are coming out. And even if she defaults, she could dismiss hers if she had at this point, it's kind of like the old, closing the barn door after the horse has gotten out, or the horse face has gotten out, or the elephant's gotten out. Even if here's what I think is going to happen. She knows by now. I think that when she started this, she absolutely had not one belief in the world that Queen Bee would get a lawyer, because this is Betty's usual tactic. This is what she does. So I think Betty figured this will be business as usual. I have to take her down. I can't stand looking at her anymore. I think she thought this will be business as usual, and it usually is. But that was a severe miscalculation on her part. I think she even once she got a lawyer, I think Betty in her own mind thought, well, I'm a jailhouse lawyer. I am a legal professional. I've been educated in the law. And I'm delusional. So I think that she probably thought, well, and I've got my, kind of like a doc in the box. We've got a jailhouse lawyer in the box. Just wind the thing and boop, up pops JLR. Joe, how about this for fun? Since I have the documents right over here, because I'm tired of listening to that bitch shriek and scream and lose her mind. I think she still thought up until Queen Bee's response. I think she thought she filed all those motions to waste time and clog up the docket. I think she filed those and said, "Thank you, JLR. Take that, Mr. Real Lawyer." I think up until his responses to her last set of motions, I think by now she's shitting her pants. So, and she knows that her little pop-up jailhouse lawyer, no, that ain't gonna work. So I think she will either let hers go. What I see happening is her just refusing because, see, now she knows and she's been put on notice. We want this, we want that, we're the other. And Miss Legal Professional, well, she knows that it's discovery and you are going to turn it over. But I could see one of two scenarios. I see her just not doing it and getting a default judgment. Hers will go bye-bye and Queen Bee can get a default on her and they'll enter a judgment and Betty won't pay it because she's a loser. You think Betty gives a shit about her credit score? But because I think that Betty's probably got a lot of, let's just say Betty's skeletons, they probably live in a walk-in closet. Maybe like mine. My closet, that is. And I think there's things that she is not going to want known. And the medical stuff, that definitely, I would think, can be sealed. But financials, no way in hell. No way in hell. So Miss Dr. Evil herself, she's going to have to weigh. Well, what do you want, Betty? You want to, how much of an asshole do you want to look like? Which is going to be worse? Is it going to be worse for you to stay in the proceedings and have all your, we're going to know whose name your channel's in, how much you pay in taxes, blah, blah, blah. Or not complying and letting Queen Bee get a default on you. And then how do you explain that to all your adoring subs and all the people who think you're so smart? I do believe that's what we call a quandary, a conundrum. Just in case y'all haven't seen this or heard, I'm going to just read to you the Queen Bee's lawyer was kind enough to do a side-by-side for the benefit of the judge of Betty's latest, her last motion she filed. He has very astutely and succinctly for the judge, because remember, the judge doesn't know all these ass clowns. This poor judge is, my God, he's hearing terms. He doesn't know what, that he's never heard before as far as things. Can you imagine this judge? Tragedy pimp. What the hell is a tragedy pimp? I mean, it's just all of the unique, euphemisms and colloquialisms that are used here on YouTube. like, I don't fuck with her. It's just funny. But her lawyer has very artfully shown in a handy dandy little graph that I'm looking for here that Betty's last motion dumps, well, my goodness, they are almost word for word the same as, oh, here it is. Okay, let's see which motion this is. And I'm sorry if a lot of you have heard this. All right, this motion is called Memorandum in Opposition to Motion to Strike Queen Bee's Notice and Demand for Bill of Particulars. So remember, Betty, because Betty doesn't know what else to say, is saying, well, I shouldn't have to do that. So what he is telling the judge, let me just read the paragraph before. Hold on. All right. Here's the paragraph right before what I'm going to read. Oh, yes, Menace, they are. Hold on, I'm going to go back and read just the last paragraph on the page prior. Bullhorn Betty acknowledges motions to strike are disfavored. Hold on, I'm just reading the footnote. Okay, I don't need to read that. More important, a motion is directed at pleadings, not for demands for bills of the particulars. Thus, the motion is procedurally improper and should be denied out of hand. Excuse me, sir, do you have a real legal education? Are you educated in the law? The rules apply to pro se litigants as much as they do to represented litigants. Then they cite a case. That should be all the more the case. That should be all the more the case for Bullhorn Betty, who trumpets her legal knowledge and skill, is suing as part of a business dispute, and refuses to make the process easier with discussion outside of filings. The rules of civil procedure, for those of you who are not familiar with that, all that is, everything in the law is governed by procedure statutes. It's the rules of civil procedure for each state. They're the rule book, and there is a reason you go to law school, okay, and not Betty's. Not that bitch went to law school, but the law is. Listen, there's nothing, the law, it's nuanced, the law is tough to understand, and that's why you go to law school. Betty would be wise to download herself a copy of the rules of civil procedure for Illinois. I'm sure her subs can, dig under the couch and underneath the seats of their cars and scrape up the money to get that little book. Hi, Lisa Olam. How are you? The rules of civil procedure allow a defendant to seek a bill of particulars when a complaint lacks sufficient details. The defendant must identify defects complained of and the details desired. The notice and demand do just that. The complaint is incredibly vague, as identified by Queen Bee in her notice and demand. Bullhorn fails to explain how there is sufficient specificity. That is likely because she cannot do so. That is likely because it is, at least in part, either lifted from, drafted by, or helped draft by her colleague, Jonathan Lee Riches, in a similar suit he filed against individuals in Union, Ohio. about a month before Bullhorn filed hers here. Exhibit 1. Rich's complaint contains very similar allegations. And then he's done this. He's done a side-by-side. This is Betty's, JLR's. Here's the wording in Betty's. And listen, every single one of us, besides maybe her morons, and even her morons, I'm sure, saw it. We all said, excuse me, this second set of filings, these motions that she's up, supposedly banging out at 4 a.m. It's the only thing banging at 4 a.m. at Betty's. They bore no resemblance at all to the complaint. The complaint looks exactly like what it is. Some kind of a fool who thinks she's, because she watched the Pelican Brief, thinks that she's a lawyer and she's got, mad legal skill. And those motions, it didn't even look like they came from the same person, because they probably didn't. They didn't come from her. I can tell you that. She did not write those. So here's the side-by-side. First, Betty's complaint. Defendants run multiple YouTube channels and have repeatedly published defamatory statements about plaintiff on her Queen Bee channel. Here's Jonathan's. Defendant runs multiple YouTube channels and has repeatedly published defamatory statements about plaintiff on his channels, Rock-A-Lot and Uni-Rock Live. Betty's complaint. Defendants have published numerous false and defamatory statements about plaintiff, accusing her of criminal activity, falsely portraying her work as a journalist, and attempting to humiliate and damage her reputation in the eyes of her subscribers and the public. Here's Jonathan's. Defendants have published numerous false and defamatory statements about plaintiff, accusing him of criminal activity, falsely portraying his work as a journalist, and attempting to humiliate and damage his reputation in the eyes of his subscribers and the public. My goodness. Here's Betty's. Defendants accuse plaintiff of stalking, harassing, and pretending to report and troll so she can make money of unwitting people. My goodness, right down to the typos even. Here's Jonathan's. Defendant accused plaintiff of stalking, harassing, and pretending to report and troll so he can make money of unwitting people. I just caught that now. It's the same, right? Not only is it the same word for word, and you know how you know? Because the mistakes are the same word for word. Oh my God, Betty, you're an idiot. You are an absolute glittering idiot. Here's Betty's. Defendants defame plaintiff by referring to her as a tragedy pimp, as defendant knowingly and falsely stated as fact that plaintiff does not actually look for missing people and that plaintiff only harasses and breaks the law. What's the problem? Here's Jonathan's. Defendant defamed plaintiff by referring to him as a tragedy pimp, and he knowingly and falsely stated as fact that plaintiff does not actually look for missing people and that his work is not actually reporting. Oh boy. Examples of exact duplicates or small differences abound in the two filings. And Riches attributes these statements to direct quotes from the defendants in his case. It is highly improbable that Riches' allegations, direct quotes from Riches' defendant, is the exact words that an unidentified defendant, whether Queen Bee or her co-defendant in this case, said. Undersigned has also spoken with counsel for another person that Bull Scorn sought a restraining order against, similar to what Bull Scorn seeks against Queen Bee here. That counsel conveyed Riches was present at Bull Scorn's hearing and video recorded him. That Bull Scorn is working with Riches is hardly surprising. But efficiencies Bullhorn might find in working with a man reportedly being the most litigious man in the world do not excuse pleading standards. And Betty, that's how a real legal professional shades your ass and shows you for the fool you are. Oh my goodness. Wasn't that fun, kids? Oh my God. I can't believe that I just caught that right. Betty, honey, how do you explain that? And you can't say that Jonathan copied yours because his was filed before yours. And I don't know, Betty, but it's, my goodness, what do you suppose the chances are that every single word is the same, right down to the typos? Oh my goodness. That, if any of you doubt it, and you too, Betty, listen up, because bitch, if you doubt it, you don't. You know you're fucked. And that's why you're carrying on and acting like you are, because you're losing your shit. You are melting down inside because there's no good scenario for Betty. There's no good outcome for you, sweetie. And oh, I love that for you. There's not. She's either going to comply and carry on with this folly, and Queen Bee is plowing forward. So even if Betty decides to just get a do nothing, which is my guess, she'll tell all her idiot subs that, oh, I'm so busy out saving the world, being a tragedy pimp, I don't have time for this nonsense, and I missed a filing. She'll have some excuse. Hers she'll default on, would be my guess. But that's not going to, honey, there's nothing good coming for you here. Oh, there's plenty of good stuff coming for us. And I mean, I know which one I'm rooting for personally. I don't mean which litigant, I mean which scenario. Betty, you're not going to save face. You're done. You're cooked. And just remember, when you're crying your little heart out, when you're screaming your ass off in your pillow at night, when you're face down, just remember, yeah, but for you, none of this would have ever happened. I mean, does anybody think Queen Bee would have never? Nobody would. Just her punk ass. Because she's a bitch. She's a punk. So Betty, like, this is going to be a bitter pill. Because there's just no good scenario. I mean, when your choices are, I mean, it's kind of fascinating to me because I see a scenario like this where, I mean, Betty, you're on blast. You have been, it's unequivocally, you have been shown for the lion I'm trying to pick the word. Like, you're just a poser. And it's so obvious now. Well, for all the rest of us, it's been obvious. But it's fascinating to me that somebody who's clearly losing her shit, because she's losing her shit, okay? And I'm so glad. And she can try and act like it's, all because she feels so badly for, Layla Santanella's family. She couldn't even say the girl's name for the first 2 weeks, okay? She didn't give a shit about those people. And all that rage you just saw, that's Andra. That's who Andra is. That's who she's always been. That's who she's always going to be, unless she really gets busy reading that book. You need to do more than read it. You need to implement the concepts. You're beyond the book, Betty. You should probably find a flesh and blood, professional. Then even then, that guarantees nothing. But I'm always fascinated. Oh, Menace, I've wondered about that myself. I mean, let's think about this, kids. What's taken down so many people? Like, I don't know, Al Capone. Did they get Gotti on tax evasion? It's tax evasion that usually takes down criminals big time. No, I'm not putting Betty in league with them, but you can't go around behaving like Betty does. I mean, all the really strong feelings people have about you, you've earned all of those. Because you're just a hateful bitch. And I'm always fascinated by people like her, like Zav Girl. Like, what the fuck? What's wrong with you? What is, like, something ain't all firing correctly to have so many people coming for you and you don't have the good sense to just go away or just shut your mouth. Like, what is that? What is that within these kinds of people? I mean, look at her hair. And I know I bust on her hair because it's just a gift that she gives me. But seriously, it's part of a bigger picture. For me, it's just another piece of like what it is that makes up people like them. Like how do you? And then in her case, you're all that, but you can't take people talking about you, which that just throws another weird like thing into the mix. It's just so bizarre to me. I'm just baffled by people that can. Liza, you didn't hear when Betty said she was invited to Mar-a-Lago. I said, bitch, the only thing you're doing at Mar-a-Lago is parking cars or trimming palm trees. Like, she is so full of shit. And someday, I would love to tell Betty. I would love to tell Betty something about Mar-a-Lago and Donald and yeah. But yeah, I have said this before and I absolutely mean it. If I was getting a graduate degree and I had the misfortune of having any understanding of this place, any one of these people, Betty is her very own dissertation. She truly is. Now, how you get your thesis advisor and the committee, how you get them to green light writing a thesis on Betty, I'm not sure. But it is it's a really interesting phenomenon. I mean, I think about this all the time, not Betty, but I think so much about, I've told you guys many times, Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, who was an incredibly brilliant guy, insanely mentally ill and horribly misguided and did awful things. But Ted Kaczynski was not all wrong, okay? His manifesto was, he saw all those years ago, and I think he was active in, was it the 90s, early 90s, or maybe the late 80s? He saw way back then that technology would be the downfall of society and civilization. And I don't think he was wrong, because, well, look at all these people we talk about. Do you think that this nasty bitch, were it not for YouTube and social media, do you really think anybody would give a good goddamn about anything this idiot has to say? Of course not. I mean, she's not particularly attractive. Let's face it. There's a lot of things, whether it's right or wrong, there's a lot of things that pretty people can get away with being dumb. Not forever, but, you know, people will make concessions and accommodations for people that are attractive that they will not make for ugly people. And that's not me saying that. That's the way of the world. If you don't like it, take it up with the world. And it fascinates me when I think about, and it's not just here on YouTube, all these social media platforms. And I'm somebody that when I listen to this bitch, Prayer Garden of America, that bitch has sometimes, and not just sometimes, oftentimes, 1,000, a 1,000 people. I've never had anywhere close to 1,000 people in this chat, and I am 1,000 times smarter, more attractive, and have much more interesting things to say than that wretched, illiterate viper. And I can't get 1,000 people in here. And trust me, I don't care. I'm trying to illustrate a point. It's my, soon as I hit end broadcast, my very nice life goes right back to the way it was before I walked in this door. But it fascinates me. Like, and I fully recognize all of the great things that technology has done for us and enabled us to do. But I tell you what, I used to think it was 50-50. It's hurt as much as it's helped. I tell you what, the older I get and the more the technology evolves, the more disparity there is between those two percentages. Because I'm sorry, I absolutely, this is why I don't watch news anymore. I hate politics. It's all bullshit. They're all horrible. I don't give a damn what letters in front of your name. They all suck. They're all corrupt. Some are, you know, more than others. And it makes me, I say all the time, and listen, I don't wear a tinfoil hat. I'm not a conspiracy person. Unlike Betty, I'm not a political rainmaker. Please. Yeah, Betty's the only Republican who believes in the welfare state and is I don't think it'll happen in my lifetime, but I guarantee in my son's lifetime, I see the very real possibility of another civil war in this country. because one of the really bad side effects of all this social media is we now glorify and give sometimes very large platforms to people that should not have them, who would have never had them 20 years ago. I mean, you tell me how many people you knew 20 years ago that were unintelligent, not attractive, etc., criminals. But had large groups of people just hanging on their every word. I don't know, but I'll tell you, let's just hope that Darwin, I mean, it's been working fine up until YouTube. It's true, though. I mean, think about it. It used to be that the only people that had, whose voice had far-reaching consequence were real legit celebrities or, politicians, people who have reached the pinnacle of their careers, etc. Nowadays, it's just a bunch of mouth breathing, borderline illiterate, angry, ugly. Oh, it's like the more the more you're willing to debase yourself, and the more outrageous you're willing to be, the more people want to listen, and it's weird and it's wrong. I mean, Darwin got it right. He just didn't account for YouTube. Because seriously, survival of the fittest around here, look how long it takes to all the wrong things get rewarded on, not just on here, but on lots of these platforms. So I don't know. Que sera, sera, I guess, but Betty. I know apparently Betty's a fan of French now. Je t'aime. Je t'aime. No. Woo! We're getting ready to have a storm. And I got a little dog at my door who's like, Mom, come on. Y'all, I have done nothing to get ready to go out of town. Nothing. I need to pack. That's always an ordeal, and I hate it. Because I'm not believe it or not, I'm really good at packing. I don't overpack, but that means it takes a lot longer to do because I allow for 2 outfits a day, one for daytime, one for nighttime, and then I put in one I don't really want to wear that. I want to wear this. It's usually the toiletries that take the most space up because I really don't. I'm good about packing. I don't pack crazy. So I've got to do that, and I just got a lot of that kind of stuff to do. So tomorrow's Sunday. Well, now that I don't have to go down until Monday, if I get enough accomplished this evening, I will come in tomorrow and God knows what will have happened between now and tomorrow, but there's still, y'all, this isn't all of it either. It's 1.5 inches at least. And these are just the ones I've been able to redact. There's still some more. So as the lawsuit turns, All right, children. I hope everybody has oh goodness. Everybody has a good weekend. Go do something fun offline. I am actually very much looking forward to no YouTube. I mean, I will probably at night when I go back to the hotel, unless there's something really good on that I'm watching on TV or whatever, but I'll probably just just look around. I damn sure will not be doing any content, that's for sure. I might make a post of just some fabulous pictures from Newport and the Gilded Age what they call cottages. Oh yes, isn't everybody's cottage 50,000 square feet? I don't know how many. All right, kids. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you at some point before I leave on Monday. And everybody go watch 90 Day Fiance season the other way, season 5, episode 1. I will set the date in a community post before I leave. And it will maybe we'll do it next weekend. How's that sound? I think that'll probably be good. So we'll shoot for, oh, wait, Amy M. Eat at Bowen's Landing at Newport. Okay, you know what? I will write that down. Amy, you know where I was going to go? Castle Hill. And do you know that they wanted a reservation secured by a credit card with a $50 non-refundable if you don't show, which I didn't care about that. But even the bar, the only night they had available was I get in at like 4 o'clock, between 4:15 and 4:30 on Monday. The only thing they had was 6:30 that evening, and it was a 6-course prefix meal, $165 a person. I don't eat $165 worth of food in a damn week. Never mind one meal. But everybody's told me how fabulous it is. You've got to go. Well, the idea is to go there during the day because it's on the water and you can sit out on this gorgeous lawn. No, Newport, Rhode Island. And they called yesterday and to say, we're just confirming. If you don't show up, we'll charge your card $50, blah, blah, blah. And for some reason, the light bulb went on. And I was like, well, you know what? Wait a minute. And my girlfriend and I looked. It was cutting it way too close. Plus, I said, I'm not going to this damn restaurant in leggings because I'm flying in like workout clothes. No, I don't work out. I'm that person. I'm a poser who just wears workout clothes. And I'm like, no. So we said, screw it. And we're not going to go there. But that place, we said, okay, well, what about, can we just go in the bar and eat at the bar? No, you need a reservation for the bar as well. I said, just to go in and have drinks? Yeah. I was like, damn, that's a first. I've never heard of a bar that you've got to make reservations for. So we're not going to go there. But I thank you very much. Watch Hill. Okay. You know what, Amy, I've got a couple places I should ask you about them. Maybe tomorrow, if you're around and you pop in. Oh, okay. I think I'm well, I'm not going to say where I'm staying, but all right, kids. I hope everybody has a great weekend. I'll see you sometime tomorrow. Have a good night. I'm looking for the damn intro. Duh. All right, I'm out of here. Bye.